And I remember George Michael saying this, and I think this is true for everybody that gets famous. He said, what's the worst thing about being famous? He was asked in an interview, and he said, the fact that if I tell a joke with a load of people around me, I've no idea if it's funny or not, because everyone's going to laugh anyway.
He's volunteering this stuff, right? And it's about as close as we get in this issue of Loaded to a confession. And this is a full 17 years before the bastard died.
And a win, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. Hi, you're listening to the EXPloaded podcast, brought to you by three men who really should know better by now. I'm Tim Southwell, co-founder of Loaded magazine, and also the author of Getting Away With It, the real inside story of Loaded. I'm joined, as always, by Loaded editors-at-large, Ben Marshall and Bill Burrows. Hello, chaps.
Good day.
Hiya.
Okay, so this episode is titled Fame, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And we're going to address the best of fame and the worst of fame. People that are basically wear it well, and other people that maybe that don't wear it quite so well. So to set the scene, it's August 1995, and we're all very excited about, well, all the people at Loaded magazine, which is now a year in. We're going to jump forward and back quite a bit, so don't panic that you've missed any episodes, because this is just the way we get it. We haven't got all the magazines, so we have to do. We have to do.
We're
it
buying
like
them on
this.
eBay.
Yeah. So it's summertime, and we're all excited about going to the seaside. So what should we do? We should basically get a load of celebrities in their cozies and celebrate the blazes out of summertime. So the cover for this magazine, whoops,
Not that one.
got upset that mag, didn't it? Is this, and this is basically our summer special with Kylie Minogue on the cover, and inside there are other famous celebrities. Actually, they weren't all that famous. We were scratching around a bit, to be honest with you. There's some people that you may or may not ever have heard of. Anyway, everybody's celebrating the wonderful
underwear.
British summertime and going to the beach for chips and crisps. So we were wondering about what. Okay, so first of all, what does this cover say to you guys? I mean, when you look at it,
No, it does say summer. It says, what period of Kylie is that then? What's she doing career-wise at that point?
so this is 95. I think this is when she's just about to start doing the sort of more trippy stuff, which was
Yeah, the
really
kind
good.
of sort of stuff that sort of sounded a little bit kind of New Order-ish.
Yeah.
Which was
yeah.
great.
I mean,
She come out of the Stock Aitken and Waterman hit factory, and she went quiet for a bit, didn't she?
She's
She
quite
said
an
deconstruction.
extraordinary woman, because she, not just up until that point, but subsequently she's just been quite extraordinary. Collaborations with Nick Cave, her fellow
Manic
countryman.
Street Preachers.
Manic Street Preachers. I mean, she is someone who, when you first saw her, and she was a star in this
Did you hear
sitcom
Bill
called
then? He
Neighbours.
just went, we mentioned the Manic Street Preachers, and Bill went.
No.
There's another story in there.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
It's Nasty Mohammed.
Just
He's gone
leave it
down
there.
twice now.
It's gone down. Come on, get back up again. You're a fighter.
He is. Just quickly, we were saying about Nick Cave. When we were at tea in the park, a mate of mine, Gilly, we were all in the same suite or whatever. He came back from he was in a fitness period of his life then, and he went down for a morning swim, which at a festival's quite good.
That's good.
He came back and saying that he'd just seen Kylie Minogue in the jacuzzi with Nick Cave.
Wowzers.
And he climbed in with him.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't know what he did. He sort of said.
Well, you would.
You would, wouldn't you? You would, yeah.
Any room for a small one?
But I don't think the collaboration was actually out at that point. That's why I found it hard to believe.
It was called The Roses or something, wasn't it?
It was good, actually.
Yeah,
it was good,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's very good. So Kylie was our cover star, and I think we worked quite hard to get Kylie on the
I
cover.
bet you did, yeah.
We all.
I mean, you have to remember how big she was. She wasn't just, she was an international star. She'd been a huge star with Neighbours, which was an Australian soap. She'd then come to Britain to launch a pop career. As Bill says, it was at Stock Aitken and Waterman initially.
So Stock Aitken and Waterman
were these very famous
Cutesy,
producers.
though.
really
Cutesy,
famous
wasn't
producer.
it?
Yeah, it was all really poppy and really lightweight, but really catchy. And so
Yeah.
they got loads of number ones. And Kylie came in alongside people like Rick Astley, who
Jason Donovan.
and
Jason Donovan, who was then I think going out with her. So
was
Jason
also
Donovan
from
was
Neighbours.
Yes, it was also from Neighbours. Very
these
nice man.
Actors were becoming pop stars because
Yes.
they were saleable to teenage kids and probably people in their early 20s, etc. They were saleable because everyone knew who they were. They were good looking, and Stock Aitken and Waterman would write them songs which nobody could kind of get out of their heads, which used to drive everyone crazy.
Yeah, all they had to do was say the words. You know, the music was already doing heavy lifting. Wasn't
I
it?
think that the thing is that she knew when she was with Stock Aitken and Waterman, she kind of knew, because she's a very bright woman, she knew that she was being underestimated. And I think that's the reason that she actually started looking for much more intelligent, not intelligent, much cleverer songwriters, in the sense of, like,
Yeah.
she wanted to kind of expand her audience, and she also was she was savvy enough to know that that she, because of the relationship with Stock Aitken and Waterman, she had this thing with the gay community, which has kind of strengthened over the years.
Yeah.
That's a cute way of doing fame well, because she took her audience with her.
Yes.
She could quite easily have lost them
Yeah.
completely.
I mean, Can't Get You Out of My
It's
Head,
really,
that
it's an
song.
absolutely brilliant song. Yeah.
And there are a few during that little period in the mid-90s where, you know, crossed over. So anyone was like an indie kid or into alternative music and a bit of a snob.
You couldn't not like
help
it. You
but
couldn't not like it
because it was
It's
brilliant.
impossible. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
The video was great as well.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, what, is that with the flowing white robes and
Snooze
stuff?
type thing,
Yeah. Snoods.
Snooze. Snooze juicer.
So in the issue, also we had Ian Botham, and we were on location with Supergrass by the Loafer, Pete Stanton, great writer,
Brilliant
for
writer.
Loaded magazine. On the very
I remember him going out on that so well, because I think that was their first single, wasn't it? We Are Young, or that kind of thing. And I remember thinking that captured that moment absolutely perfectly. And we were actually on the video. Was he in the video, Pete? I think he is at some point.
was he in the video?
I think he
because
mixed
that single, All Right, became literally probably the most recognisable anthem of the whole 1990s. I think.
It's
You
up
know,
there, in the
certainly. Well,
conversation, yeah.
it's because that brilliant sort of din 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 din, din the piano thing at the beginning. It's like you know exactly what it is straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a great little piece there, and of course we had Kylie on the cover. We've spoken a bit about her.
But you also said Ian Botham. That shows the breadth of what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
That goes back to our childhood. Well, mine, not yours. Obviously, you were both
So Ian
middle-aged men at the
Botham,
time.
older
Ian
than you.
Botham was they called him an all-rounder cricketer for England, captain of England, and superhero cricketer
He also
who
played professional
won loads of
football
amazing
as well,
games.
you know.
And he played football for Scunthorpe
And he was
United.
a bit of a naughty boy.
Yes.
He liked to reef. I think we
He
can
liked to
legally
spliff.
say that.
Yeah. He liked a spliff, he liked a beer.
Loved
And
getting the West Indies
He
to
was
play
the,
cricket.
you know, I mean, I don't really give a monkeys about cricket, but he was the first cricketer that genuinely had the sort of the personality and the swagger of a professional footballer, and that was what made him interesting.
And I'll tell you how I know I don't give a cobblers about cricket. I was at Old Trafford during that 1981 when he won the Ashes pretty much single-handed. I was there at the game, and I was at the chip shop when he scored his fifth.
Everyone's
sixth,
going
whoever it was.
berserk.
Yeah. I knew something was going on. but
shoving chips
couldn't
down
really
your
care.
face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Different times.
So, okay, different times. Oh, sorry. We're going to talk about people that were good or are good at being famous.
Can I just address that for a second? 'Cause it's an interesting thing, because if you're when you're listening to this, right, I mean, being good at being famous might strike you as being a sort of an odd concept. Can you be good at being famous? You're surely just famous or you're not famous, right? But actually, there are people who are genuinely kind of drop into that role and are really, really, really good at it.
Yeah.
Right? And there are many of them. You know, you're going to mention a few. I know
the list I've come up with.
Yeah.
And I think it's people that when they get famous, you can't really imagine them not being famous. You mentioned earlier on Noel Gallagher, who I think is brilliant at being famous.
He's absolutely fantastic
because he wears it well. So
he really does. Yeah.
He's a rock star, and he's got all this money and everything, but he still remains to be pretty much normal.
I saw him on the
think.
tube about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, so you see him on the tube, and he'll go on Talk Sport to talk about Man City or whatever they want him to talk about. He's quite open to stuff. He's
But the
not
crucial,
like, no,
crucial thing about him as well is the fact that he can do all of that. So you can bump into him on the tube or whatever, or listen to him on Talk Sport. But the crucial thing is that he also has the charisma and the heft and everything else that you want from a famous. Because you don't want a famous person to be just like you. That's just I know we think we do, but we don't, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, through Loaded, through other publications, we tend to meet people. Often that's our exclusive job. Often just to meet celebrities. But I think the best person that I've bet that was the best at it was probably Andrew Ridgeley.
Yes.
Who didn't give a monkeys about being famous.
So Andrew Ridgeley was the other half of Wham,
other half of
with
Wham.
George Michael, who,
Yeah.
and Wham in the early 80s.
Early 80s,
Yeah, about
yeah.
82, whatever.
81,
burst
82,
onto the
yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Two boys from Croydon or Crawley or somewhere.
They were sort of like London suburb boys, yeah.
and they basically
Suburban.
blew the lid off the charts. They were number
They
one.
did.
left,
And there's
right,
an
centre.
interesting-
Towards the Soviet Union.
Toward the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about George Michael was that George Michael was this very, very, very overweight, very shy Greek boy. And
At school, you mean,
At
yeah.
school, when he was
Yeah.
at school, he was just the most painfully shy
Bit of a
little
misfit.
boy, yeah?
When you
and a
were careless
misfit.
whispering
Yeah.
about, yeah.
And he looked up to this kid, Andrew, because Andrew was like the coolest kid in the class. And unbelievably, Andrew just befriended him because that's not normally the coolest kid in the class does not normally befriend the geek. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like Martin Prince
George Michael's
becoming friends
plan.
with Bart.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. George Michael's plan had been to work with his dad in his dad's Greek restaurant. That was his thing. That was what he was going to do. And Ridgeley had this thing. He goes, "No, that's all bollocks." He goes, "What you do is you do what everyone else does. You just sign on, and they pay your rent, and they do this and they do that." And he goes, "And we can do." He goes, "But what do
Signing
you do?"
on basically means
signing
that
on. Yeah, it means
you go to the, it's what you're going on the
It's
dole.
go on
What do they
benefits,
call it
yeah,
now? Benefits
on the rock and roll, yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't got a job, you're after a certain age, you're
So-
able to
Oh,
So-
Wham Rap
apply
was all
for that.
about, wasn't it?
So this is what
Yeah.
Wham Rap's all about. So
Yes, Wham Rap,
basically,
yeah.
so Wham Rap is like I'm a soul boy, I'm a dole boy, take pleasure in leisure, I believe in joy. You know,
This is what I said when I walked in. I actually said that to the lady behind the desk.
What did she say?
She did. She said,
We've got a job for you.
"Yes, take a seat." Yeah.
But what Ridgeley became sort of George Michael's muse. I mean, Ridgeley likes to boast that he never did a single thing in Wham. He couldn't play properly. He never wrote a lyric.
He had a nose job.
He had a, yeah, he
Pretended
did,
it got
but,
broken.
But he was absolutely fantastic at being famous, whereas
Yeah.
George Michael was absolutely hopeless at being famous, and it's really tragic. I mean,
Yes.
rather like we were talking about Kurt Cobain the other week. Yeah, Kurt Cobain was also lousy at being famous because he was essentially someone, towards the end of his life, just said, "I just want to go and just write songs."
Okay, so what we're saying then, to be good at fame, you have to appreciate and want it. Is that what we're saying?
I think you have to appreciate it and want it.
Not
But
let it-
obviously,
not
no
let
one
it-
knows quite what it's going to be like.
Not let it destroy you, or not let it.
I mean, no one knows. I mean, the interesting thing about Ridgeley was the second that he got money from Careless Whispers, right?
Yeah.
'Cause that was where he got most of his money. He just gave up entirely and just went off to Devon and started
I've got an
surfing.
important point to make, and I remember George Michael saying this, and I think this is true for everybody that gets famous. He said, "What's the worst thing about being famous?" He was asked in an interview, and he said, "The fact that if I tell a joke with a load of people around me, I've no idea if it's funny or not because everyone's going to laugh anyway."
Absolutely brilliant.
And I think that is,
observation,
that's nailed on. That's probably been said by every
Yeah.
single person.
Well, it's just that
ever gone through
sense
that.
of insecurity that you
Yeah.
probably had as the kind of small.
So you don't know who your friends are.
Short-eyed.
No.
So you're insecure, and it's
Yeah.
you've got all this money, you've got all this stuff, but you don't know. So I guess Andrew Ridgeley, being his pal from school,
Yeah.
still being friends with him was probably an absolute,
That was really.
I think Kevin Rosdale from Bush is good at it because he could go to America where he was idolised and all
Yes.
the rest of it. And he could walk down the high street. Yeah, no one knows who he is.
No, it's
Yeah,
perfect, isn't
yeah.
it?
You
That-
can
go to
go
America,
home and turn it all
live in the
off.
sun,
Yeah.
come back here, and then you can go down the pub
Yeah.
with your mates.
So I was in a
Bed up.
club with Andrew Ridgeley, right? And this was long after Wham, but when he was still really known, he was still a sort of tabloid favourite. Right? And we're sitting in this club, and
This is turning into the Andrew
Annabelle's.
Ridgeley Appreciation
I know,
Society.
well, yeah, but
I've
he's a very
got
good man.
something to add
But,
as well.
And I think it was Annabelle's, one of the posh London clubs, right? Anyway, top and bottom, these models are walking past Andrew, and every single model, beautiful women, they sort of kiss him on the cheek, and they say, "Hi, Andrew," and he just goes, "Hi," and I go, "Must be strange being you, because you could probably sleep with any single one of these women." He goes, "I've slept with all of them, Ben, every single one of them." Right? I go, "Doesn't it bother you though that
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's
people
got
will?
sleepless nights over
Doesn't
that
it bother you that people will only want to sleep with you because you're Andrew Ridgeley?" He goes, "Not really. I am Andrew Ridgeley."
Yeah, beautiful.
And that
Good answer.
is a great answer.
Talking of
and
that,
that is someone being comfortable with being famous.
I am not Andrew Ridgeley,
You're not.
but I tried to be Andrew Ridgeley once because I
You
went.
put a shoulder cut down your shorts.
I got a picture at Smash Hits of his haircut when he had that kind of I
Yeah,
don't know
the
thingy.
sort of quiffy type thing.
And I took it into the hairdresser and said, "Can you make me look like Andrew Ridgeley?" and they didn't. Actually, I walked out looking quite similar, but as soon as you got halfway down the road, a bit of wind,
Of course,
I
yeah.
just looked like a Burke again. Yeah.
I'll tell you who else was with fame. 'Cause I wrote a book on Alex Higgins, a biography of Alex
You
Higgins.
did.
Yes, you did.
Alex Higgins, the very
Called The
famous
Hurricane.
and
Very good book.
rogue, notorious rogue
Notorious
snooker
rogue,
player.
Not much of a snooker player, more of a rogue who happened to play snooker occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he can be bothered, yeah.
And his line in the book, when I asked him, when I first met him, it was a long story, but we'll talk about him again in another episode maybe. But when I tried to get him to do it authorised, the biography, he wouldn't do it. It all fell apart. Death threats subsequently, whatever. We'll get
Some of
into that.
those stories, though, that you've told in the book
Yeah.
are the best bits because it's like when you turn up and he's either not there or he is there, but he doesn't want to talk about it and he wants another 500 quid or something.
because he's in a bit of a predicament, as he always used to
Yes.
say. But at the end of it, we were waiting for the lift, and I was just like, you don't make small talk with Alex Higgins, really. But I just said to him, have you enjoyed your life? And he just said, I don't know, I've not had much to do with it. She's quite
Wow,
interesting, isn't
what
it?
a brilliant
Yeah, it's brilliant.
comment to make.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that reminds me actually of that sort of I can't remember who said it actually. That shocking line about the feeling of like your life happening in your absence, which is a sort of terrifying concept.
Yeah.
But I think somebody like Higgins was probably not very good at fame, despite the fact I think he probably still remains one of the most famous snooker players ever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Without a shadow,
He was the complete maverick. As
He
the
kind of
Hurricane
used
was.
it when he needed
Yeah.
to get something, if he wanted money or something to buy him a drink, But also he couldn't deal with people coming up to him with his own privacy.
Because he became a bit of a casualty, didn't he?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, he was taking a lot of drugs, drinking too much, and couldn't really able to snooker queue, and then sort of like quite sad, wasn't it? How
it was.
unfolded.
Which is very, very common though. The famous people that don't enjoy fame just get with George Michael. It's like and Kurt Cobain and indeed like we mentioned the Manic Street Preachers, Richie Manic, who I knew quite well. The self-medication problem is a big deal. But people that are good at fame don't necessarily need to be nice people. You can be good at fame and be a real shithead.
Yeah, so are we trying to find people that are good at it because they handle it well, but are actually we think they're quite nice
It's
still.
not necessarily compliments, it's an observation.
Yeah.
It's an observation. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think so.
Rod Stewart.
Kylie's really, really good at it. Rod Stewart,
Rod
absolutely
Stewart
brilliant at
is
it.
probably the king of being
Yeah, the king of
famous.
being good at famous.
Yeah, and carries on.
Can he remember not being famous? I mean, when about 20
they were
when he
in
started?
He
Yeah,
must
but
have, what,
like
small
late
faces
teens,
and
early
all
20s,
that.
yeah.
God, that was in the late 60s, was it?
A mate of mine, actually, during COVID, was walking around London. He's got a construction company. He's walking around London and he saw Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney was on his own, but he had his face mask on, obviously. And it just occurred to him that that's one of the only times since he'd been an adult that he could walk down the street without being recognised.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
And ironically, for my mate, who's a really big businessman, he totally freaked out when he saw him. And
Started chasing him.
No, he was. It
was like Hard Day's Night all over again.
This guy, he's like a serious guy, and Paul McCartney's walking towards him. He realised because of the eyes, which are unmistakable.
Yeah.
And he just went, King Paul. And then, oh my God, what have I just said?
King
McCartney
Paul.
just went. So, fame, those guys have had fame since they were a kid. They've
And
not
there is
known
a
it.
strange thing
Not
as well
known
that
it.
happens to you, especially if you get famous at that age. I think it's Daniel Craig that said that because he got famous later on in life, yeah. And he said like sort of post 25 or 26, it's much easier. But if you get famous when you're seriously young, right, then you
Michael
kind of
Jackson.
exist in this kind of weird sort of state of arrested development.
Like
where
Jedward.
Shedwood.
Jedward, Michael Jackson's actually a very good example of somebody that was really, really good at fame, but also was a really horrendous human being.
Monkeys. Anyway.
Again.
So yes, we're going to slightly slip into, or flip the coin, I guess would say, because there are certain people that are bad or sort of bring ugliness to fame. And the interview that John Wilde, who was a very accomplished journalist and interviewer, he was like
the Don. Yeah.
he was the de facto, he was the Don interviewer at
yeah,
Loaded. If any big name came up, you sent Wildey to do it because he was just so good and fearless regarding questioning. So the person that kind of brings this to mind, in the same issue we've been talking about, Jimmy Savile is in there. Ben, you've made some notes of the interview.
Yeah,
that
I did
Wildey
actually, right? Because
did.
it's been years since I read it. I mean, it's absolutely years since I read it. Now, just to give some context to this, Savile, arguably the most sort of prolific paedophile.
Yeah, but before that,
Right.
but he basically was a TV presenter.
Yeah, he'd been a TV presenter.
He
He'd
did
been
the
a
most
DJ.
popular TV show in Britain called Jim Will Fix It.
And also he presented Top of the Pops quite regularly, which was the big pop show.
Yeah.
He'd been a hugely successful, first of all, pirate DJ, then worked at the BBC, and he kind of became a staple, actually, of the BBC.
Yeah.
And he was knighted, and he was friends with Margaret Thatcher, and he was friends with Prince Charles, now King Charles.
Yeah.
He was
a larger than life character, wasn't he?
very much larger than life.
Yeah. Always doing charity fundraising.
Yes, yeah, always running marathons.
And stuff like
that was his get out of jail free
Yeah,
card part,
yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
it? They gave a lot for charity and all the
But
rest of
don't
it.
you remember, all the while through, but way before the revelations were actually sort of like proven, there was always this thing going around that Jimmy Savile was not all that he was cracked up to get, because he was
That
like
he was a creepy guy.
He was like a national treasure.
There's footage of Johnny Lydon saying that.
John
Yes.
Lydon said it, and also Joe Strummer. When Joe Strummer, one of the reasons he said, "I won't go on." He said to me, "I won't go on the on Top of the Pops."
Yeah.
He said because I refused to be.
Joe Strummer was the lead singer of the Clash, and
yeah.
then Johnny Lydon was the
lead singer of the Sex Pistols and presently Public Image, who are about to go on tour.
So they were huge names.
Yeah. And they were complete, but they were also completely outside of the establishment at the time when they were talking about this stuff. And Strummer said, I wouldn't go on Top of the Pops because I refused to be in the same studio as somebody like Savile. He said, and he said because everybody knew what Savile was.
Yeah.
So everybody knew this, right?
It was the worst kept secret in the world, but nobody could prove anything.
But here's the interesting thing: nobody asked him about it, right? And
Which brings us on to
this piece. Yeah. Now, this piece.
This is 1995.
This is 1995. So it's a full 17 years before the revelations actually became
proven.
Were proven.
Yeah.
Right. But it's 17 years before. Now, to John's eternal credit, this is probably a 4,000 word piece.
Which people should know is
Which is a very, very, very long piece. Yeah, that's
John's skill means you don't feel it like it's a long piece, but today, I mean, a long piece would be 1,000 words.
Yes.
It's a big piece.
Yeah.
So there are several interesting things about this piece, right? One is the first impression you get, the first couple of pages, essentially is John just asking John Wildey style questions, right? So just asking him who he's met and who he's hung out with and all the rest of it. The interesting thing are the replies.
This is a nub of it. Yeah.
Never, ever, ever read, other than with the exception of Donald Trump, I've never seen anyone make every single question about themselves. So you ask Savile about Elvis, and it's no longer about Elvis, it's about him, and it's about how great his hair is. He's obviously talking about, he's talking about the man who had the greatest hair in rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Yeah. But no, it suddenly becomes about Savile.
Elvis loved his hair.
Elvis loved his hair and loved
Elvis
it so
Presley,
much.
for anybody that doesn't know.
So it's extraordinary the way that he is absolutely, apparently unable to talk in abstract terms about anything. He cannot talk about anything without relating it to himself. So
So you think you're building up a portrait of someone who's quite narcissistic?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get in and out of him because I feel like I need to wash this into.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's getting worse.
In and out. So basically, John finally addresses the elephant in the room. He actually writes. I mean, this is what he writes. He writes about a sinister character who leads a strangely austere existence. Who has a predilection for children, but who perhaps even hates them, right? So this is John writing well before these allegations. And then this is really bizarre. He actually asks Savile about this. And Savile comes out with the strangest answer.
Asked him about what?
He asks him about his proclivities, about his alleged proclivities.
About the rumours.
About the rumours.
His private life, which involve small kids or
small kids, right? The astonishing thing about Savile is that he then brings up, apropos of nothing, right? Necrophilia.
Yeah.
Right? Which he was later discovered to be a necrophile, right? And we then see him just talking about, and then for the only time in the whole interview, he goes into what you might call abstractions. And the abstractions are clearly about him because everything is about him, right? So he starts talking about, imagine if you were the sort of bloke and I'm not quoting exactly here, but imagine if you were the sort of bloke who
Asking for a
couldn't
friend.
control their desires. It really is asking for a friend. Type. Couldn't control their desires. You know it talks about what kind of how monstrously you might behave if you had these desires that you couldn't control, and then starts talking, about the fact that like you might need to wank 8-9 times a day. Really, really weird stuff. But
he hadn't been asked that, had he?
No, had not been asked
cup of
it.
coffee,
Right? He's volunteering this stuff, right? And it's
God.
about as close as we get in this issue of Loaded to a confession. And this is a full 17 years before the bastard died.
Yes, and so just to kind
And
of...
he, by the way, he was very good at fame.
Yes.
This is the thing.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
He was very good at fame.
Well, he ended up with like a state funeral in Leeds. Didn't
Yes, he
Pretty
did.
much. It was
It was
bonkers.
a sorry, like it was like, it was ridiculous, and there was all those idiots dressed as with the
So-
He
Savile
actually
wigs
got
on.
to
And
be famous for being famous stage, didn't he?
Yeah.
Another stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to kind of end this, in June 2014, investigations concluded that he'd sexually assaulted staff and patients between 5 years old and 75 over several decades, and those are all the charges that
so
were
it's
brought
over,
against
over
him.
6 decades.
Yeah,
6 decades.
yeah. So anyway, that's probably the downside of abusing fame, I guess.
Yeah, it provides opportunities and and the connections for him, which is not everything get away with it.
Yeah, the connections were huge. I mean, if you are friends with the Prime Minister and
the heir to the throne.
the future King of England,
Yeah,
right?
but the thing
you
about
have-
that article, right,
Yes.
is that Louis Theroux had this big documentary about Savile.
8 years
a
later,
few years, right? 8 years
later.
after this.
8 years later.
And I don't think Louis Theroux got anything like the
No, he got nowhere near this.
Stuff
I mean,
about-
that's not. I'm not discrediting Luther. I
No,
thought
no,
it was
no.
good,
Brilliant.
but brilliant interviewer and fantastic filmmaker. But he didn't get as close to John.
Yeah.
As getting this is as near as damn it a confession by literally saying I didn't do things and then talking about stuff that
Yeah,
Yeah.
But imagine if I had the power to do that.
Yeah, imagine if...
How
imagine-
would you
yeah.
possibly resist? It's,
Yeah, yeah.
Scumbag anyway.
Very peculiar. Let's put him
put him
firmly in the
in the
room
dustbin of
101.
history.
Well, get his remains and send him up to Musk in Mars, and he can
That's
see what
not a bad idea.
See if he can get a tune on the bongos out of his bones. Anyway, so we're going to now do Sell Me the Cover, which is where you guys come up with a pitch for the cover if the magazine was out today.
Now, what's the score at the moment?
I don't actually know. I think it's 2-1 to Ben. I'm not sure.
No, it's 2-1 to him. It's 2-1 to you. Crying out loud. Stop moaning.
Even he can't take it.
Fucking
So
unbelievable.
bad. He's not even trying now.
Yeah, but a giraffe.
Yeah,
It's
not-
2-1 to you.
VAR. We'll get
my
involved.
VAR.
Okay, no, so it's 2-1 to you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have a little.
You do. That's why I asked.
We'll have a little ticker thing behind me. A little ticker from Basil Brush.
Yeah.
Little
Right.
ticker.
I was reading that. this
I'm trying to
morning,
think of who I wanted on the cover, actually.
Yeah, I've got one. If you
No,
want to start
yeah,
off.
Bill, you go first.
Cool.
Pep.
Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
Right.
not just because I'm a City
Interesting,
fan,
yeah.
because he has totally changed, revolutionised football.
Yeah,
And he's a good-looking bloke. Got it all going on. He's funny.
he's quite good at being famous, isn't he?
He is quite
Yeah.
famous. He's seen him running around town on his bike or
Yeah.
Plays
Plays golf with.
likes his golf. It's, when he gets on top of him, he took a year out to go to New York, didn't he? He needed a bit of a breather. But he's done it in Germany, he's done it here,
Yeah.
done it in Spain.
He's a
and-
serial winner and
He
also
is.
produces amazing football.
And I also think he's one of the few. I mean, I always set the benchmark for football managers as Brian Clough, always. And I think Clough privately would admit that Pep was the bee's knees.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd say it publicly, but I think he'd admit that, I think if the football he plays is divided just because we win everything, people get jealous. But
Pep. He loves Marcelo Bielsa, doesn't he?
He does. He does. And that's how I think Pep would be great for cover.
Yeah. Okay.
And take him away from the football, which
Yeah.
we did with a lot with sports stars, and say, right, we're going to talk about everything else.
You could see him in a really amazing shoot, like white shirt, unbuttoned,
Yeah.
just looking the business.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I do that interview. John Miles not doing that one.
Yeah, okay. I think you deserve it. Ben, what do you think?
I'm kind of into Bill's idea, actually.
He does
That's
that.
really good.
He does it every week, doesn't he?
I know, no,
Every week. So
no,
you
come
want-
on, but no. Look, okay, so there's a couple of things.
You can't only have one, right?
No, I was going to say Scott Galloway, but I'm not going to fucking keep saying that. Right? 'Cause
Every
you keep,
week.
you fucking wankers
Scott
keep taking
Galloway,
the piss. Yeah?
You're not going to get off with him.
That Scottish
Well,
politician.
I wouldn't mind. Don't. I wouldn't mind Kylie again. Yeah.
Yes.
Look, there's a thing.
Hang on,
right?
he had Gary Oldman again for the first one.
No, Gary
Yeah, but I
Oldman.
think that's
no,
it.
hold up, yeah, and I wanted
Frank Skinner then and Prince Naz.
Well, that's all right. You can do that.
You don't want Prince Nassau now, do you? But I think that maybe that's testament to the fact
That's
that
testament
these
to
people
this.
have longevity.
It's still relevant.
Yeah,
So we're blowing our own trumpet.
Yes, we are.
You've swung it now, haven't you? He's going to switch from Pep to that.
it could be tight, this one. Yeah, is
Well,
that
I'm
it?
going with
Is that your
Kylie.
pitch?
She still looks amazing. Yeah, she
looks
still
amazing,
Looks
but-
great, and she's still amazing.
And you've already said how amazing she is
Yeah,
as
exactly.
a person. Blah blah.
I'm going with Kylie,
Talented.
man.
Okay,
I'm with
Kylie.
Kylie.
Well, I've got to say, I'm going to go with Kylie.
Hey!
So it's two all.
Unbelievable.
2-2. Okay, so now
Sorry, Pep, you've not done enough.
it's now time for car parks.
I hope we beat you in the final at Wembley now.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah,
We're probably out by now. By the time this comes out, we'll know who's in the final.
yeah. It depends when you listen to this. It could be
Yeah.
over by now.
yeah, could be
Yeah.
years. could be cool. We might not even be around by the time other people listen.
You
got-
two might not be.
I've
Yeah,
got a
you
nice.
Fuck off.
I've got a nice treat for you now. It's car parks. Curious corner of captivating quotations. I have not slept once on that.
Nearly
so
did then.
far. Okay, here we go.
Hello there. I'm Car Park. Yes, that's right. Welcome to Car Park's Curious Corner of Captivating Quotations. I shall read excerpts from Getting Away With It, the real inside story of Loaded, by Tim Savile. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I shall begin. Who said this? I remember the first time I ever went out with the Loaded fellas. It was around about issue 5, and we all went to see Dumb and Dumber. And we ordered in a load of Chinese food while we were watching it. And I realized that there was this bizarre collection of characters. I never seen such a strong team effort. Everyone locked into one another and moving in a group everywhere.
It's Sir Robin Day.
Who's Sir Robin Day? Who do you think said that?
I haven't got a Scooby.
Haven't you?
No.
Okay, well,
It's a great quote, by
It's
the way.
a great quote.
And I remember that night. So, can I just briefly say about that night?
yeah.
I remember sitting there, and I just remember thinking, like,
But you must know who it was, Dad, if he was there.
no, but I can't remember it. I was focusing on the film, on the celluloid. I'd previously
Again,
been
you're
a
more of a
fucking
chance
film
than I have.
reviewer.
I wasn't even there.
Okay. Car Park's going to give us the answer.
Go
right?
on.
That was, of course, Ben Marshall.
Was it me?
Fucking idiot.
Fucking hell. Different times. I used to take a lot of Persian rugs.
That was sensational.
He fed you that as well. You still got it wrong.
Oh,
Crack on.
mercy.
Take
okay.
that point off him for the cover now and get Pep back in.
Oh, I can't do that. I'll be up in front of the beak
You,
with some beak. So it's time for Planet of Apes. Who's got a vape for me?
He's got a vape.
Bill, you've got a
we
vape.
should have done this the last.
So Planet of the Vapes, just for the uninitiated, is where us baby boomers
and fucking Billy
on.
Idol
and Ian
over here,
and
yeah.
Billy Idol,
Yeah, generation.
we try to decipher or talk about the Gen Zers because we've got kids or nieces, nephews of that kind of age, and it's obviously very different. You know, since the technology of the mobile phone came in, and and all that sort of generation are wired into that in a way that we still remember that we weren't before it. So
This is germane to both points. One, on the generation thing, put your hand up if you were still alive last time England won the World Cup.
No, I was.
You nearly made the fucking squad.
you were 15.
Jesus Christ. Right, I wasn't. That's that done. And the vape thing is the way young fellas talk about football.
Oh.
And they've got it all from playing computer games. So that boy over there and my boy will go, oh, these, what was the XG? And they'll talk about double
yeah.
pivots.
Yeah.
And the CDM. Central defensive midfield.
It took me ages to figure that. I was coaching, and everyone was talking about CDMs. And what are you
I
on
need fucking subtitles.
I
What's
know.
going on?
It's-
Central defensive
midfielder.
midfielder.
Yeah.
Calvin Phillips, you liked him, didn't you?
Rodri.
Yeah. Okay.
Slightly better. So those kind of things. They put all those terms in, and you are sometimes, even though you might have lived football your whole life and loved it, you're going, fucking.
Yeah.
I still don't know 100% what XG is, I'll be honest with you. I know what it means.
Expected goals.
Yeah, but what does it mean? What did it mean?
I don't know. Will?
Something to do with the betting?
No, it's like if you get a ball across and you have a 1-on-1, it's like the higher the XG is.
If you get a one-on-one, the higher the XG, the more chance you've got of scoring.
Yeah.
And how can it apply to a team?
I don't like it because it's sort of like almost going towards the American school of it's all about
getting
stats.
really confused now. I'm about to have a nosebleed.
Stats and
It's like
nothing
that.
else.
It's like your Chelsea manager, like your LinkedIn, whatever his name is.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the vape one for me this week.
Okay, cool. So now it's time for Rogue of the Week. Now, back in the day in the magazine, we did Platinum Rogues, which is like a league table of the worst behaved celebrities or people in general.
Rightly amusing.
That much. Amusing and hopefully not too, serious, but, a bit of fun. A bit of fun. So, but we've now brought this into the modern world and we get to choose our own Rogue of the Week. Now, Bill, I believe you've got one.
Yeah, Tyson Fury, a great boxer. I interviewed him for the Times about 2 years ago, and he turned up with his entourage in the morning, and the suit was just beyond belief. Fine, talking about doing fame well and badly again, and he refused. I wanted him to sit down to do the interview because he's a big man.
He is a big man.
But he refused, and me being stubborn sat down anyway. So I spent the whole interview with my arm like that, holding the tape recorder up to his mouth. It went on for about
Is
an
he
hour.
that tall?
Oh, he's massive.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And, his entourage were filming it, so that exists somewhere. Anyway, the reason I want him as a rogue is because he could get away with that shtick, the king of the gypsies here, it's the big one, when he was winning. And he
did just win last week.
No, when he was before he'd been beaten, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
If you've been beaten, there comes a time people I just twitch off now.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say anything that's going to shock me or outrage me. It's just, okay, you've got to talk up a fight, but we know what you're going to do. If you came in one day and said, I really like this guy, I've turned that would be interesting. But no, boring. Heard it before.
You kind of know what you're going to get.
You know what you're going to get.
A bit like Donald Trump, isn't it? Just like a load of white noise and lies.
Yeah, a little bit.
And hyperbole. Yeah. Okay, so guys, that's it for this week.
Are we going to send somebody to Mars?
Come on,
Come on, we've got to send someone to Mars. I mean, Elon's up there, all on his own in his glass igloo.
Yeah, okay.
Go on then, I'll jump in.
Yes. Who are you going to send to Mars? So this article is basically somebody...
Yeah, just explain why we're sending people to Mars.
So we have one person we can choose every week who we want to get rid of.
Yeah.
Because
and
if
we don't want to kill them.
No,
it's horrible.
No, it's worse than that. It's worse than that because basically they get sent to Mars and there's no way back. You can get there, but you can't get back.
Ridley Scott, in his movie The Martian, implies that there is a route home.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ridley, but you're fucking wrong, mate.
Technology is not existing for that.
No.
So who have we already sent up there?
We've already sent up Elon Musk.
Right.
Because he had the wherewithal.
Okay.
Yeah, he had the wherewithal, and he wears t-shirts going on about it.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to occupy Mars.
So what we're doing is we're not just sending people there who deserve it. We're sending people there who also, to add insult to injury, are going to piss off Musk and each other.
Yeah.
So making a cell of the most self-destructive,
vile.
Yeah, it's going to eat
Horrible.
itself like a bacteria. that
Irritating.
Nasty, yeah.
Like Ebola virus of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Morrissey.
Morrissey.
Fucking fantastic. Absolutely.
Oh, that is genius.
He'll be
Morrissey
up
and
there,
Elon
he'll
Musk.
be up there like
a house on fire.
Poncing about, right, with his stupid little Britain First badge on. Yeah,
Slapping himself with a Guardiola.
Yeah, slapping himself with a gladioli, right, and having to eat Elon Musk's feces, recycled, obviously.
Which accord with his vegetarian principles, I'd imagine.
Eventually they
Which
would do
accord
that,
with his
wouldn't they?
vegetarian principles.
Eventually they would do that. They wouldn't just eat their own shit. They'd
have to.
They'd have to spice things up a bit by...
Well, I'm sure they brought... I mean, by the way, when I did that story for Loaded, with the paratroopers, right, they said the food that you get here is absolutely diabolical. It's like eating shit, right? Yeah. They said, so what you do is you bring a little thing of Tabasco with you. So I will allow Elon Musk, a little bit of Tabasco to flavour his own turds, yeah?
Or Morrissey's.
Or Morrissey's turds, yeah?
Depending
That?
what day of week.
That happens to be Morrissey's turds with a little bit of Tabasco on it.
very-
Enjoy, sir.
Very lenient of you.
Yeah.
You've changed.
I'm Mr.
I'll tell
Fucking
you
Nice
what,
Guy.
it's like the ultimate girl dinner, isn't it? Very little preparation.
It
and
is.
Just get on with it.
Just shit on the
Cheap as
plate, bit of Tabasco. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Wow. Okay. So Morrissey's
That's
up
a
there.
good
So
one. He's
hopefully,
up there.
I'm
In the glass
I'm just
igloo.
trying to think who else.
And if we can just link it all together to the theme,
Yeah.
plays hideous tricks on the brain. Fatal fame.
Yeah.
Fatal fame.
Fatal Fame.
Yeah, what was the Smith's lyric?
Oh yeah,
Statistics on the brain.
Panic
Oh,
in
I
the
like what
streets
he's
of
done.
I wish I'd been a music journalist.
Fucking hell.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. That was brilliant. And thanks for listening, everybody. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and review. And you can contact us on explodedpod@gmail.com. Plus, we're on Instagram and we're on TikTok, and Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. So yes, please, please carry on listening. We're really enjoying doing this, and God help us all, as Bill says.
God help us all.